Imagine you're at training, be it at the gym or your local sports hall, and you stop to think, is cardio killing my gains, bro? Or, if I do weights, I will look too damn big for my endurance competition. What if I told you today that there is a way to find a balance and get the best out of both worlds? My name is Zhuo, and I am a Year 2 student studying in the Diploma in Nutrition, Health and Wellness at Singapore Polytechnic. And what I will be sharing today will be very important to each and every one of you here: the effects of concurrent training. I will be covering the basis of what makes up concurrent training and why it may appeal to not only the general public but also strength and power athletes and as well as endurance athletes. First off, what is concurrent training? Well, it's defined as the combination of resistance training with endurance exercise in a single program or in a training week, in an attempt to achieve improvements to more than one physiological system. For resistance, it is any kind of anaerobic muscle contraction exercise against an external resistance with progressive overload to increase strength, power, and hypertrophy. And endurance training refers to aerobic muscle metabolism performed at submaximal intensity over a long period of time. Concurrent training has received a large amount of skepticism over the years, primarily because of the frequent assumptions that the adaptations brought about through the utilization of resistance training will be inhibited by those of aerobic training and vice versa. A number of studies in the past, like the one by Hickson, have looked at this, and when looking at the outcomes of these studies, one would conclude that these two styles of training do have inhibitory or interfering roles upon each other, something referred to as the interference theory. Using the concept of mitochondrial density, you'll also understand this theory. Now you see, during anaerobic resistance training, type 2 muscle fibers are mainly activated. Type 2 fibers are big and have fast activation of motor units, allowing the muscles to produce high amounts of power with fast contractions for short bursts. Resistance training, however, leads to a decreased mitochondrial density, which reduces oxidative capacity essential for endurance and aerobic fitness. And on the other hand, during aerobic endurance training, type 1 muscle fibers are mainly activated. Type 1 fibers are smaller and have slower activation of motor units, which increases mitochondrial density, allowing the muscles to produce smaller amounts of force over a longer period of time. This, however, creates a problem for the adaptations brought about through resistance exercise, as the body adapts to endurance training by converting type 2B muscle fibers to type 2A muscle fibers, further increasing the mitochondrial density. This may result in the so-called interference effect. However, much of the more recent studies question this line of thinking. A study in 2018 suggested counter effects could be reduced or be less apparent as long as training parameters are planned appropriately. Training sequence, rest periods between the two training types, and training volume and intensities were identified as variables that could play a key role in this interference phenomenon. Therefore, I shall now elaborate more on how conducting concurrent training can be beneficial and how you should go about doing it yourself. I'll be focusing on these three main areas: endurance athletes, strength and power athletes, and lastly, cardiovascular fitness and general health. There are many misconceptions around strength training, such as that it causes gym goers to bulk up and get bigger. For an endurance athlete, this could be synonymous with being slowed down. But this isn't the case. Research has shown that for years, leading endurance athletes all over the world have integrated strength training programs, which includes weightlifting, into their regimes, and have enjoyed huge success as a result. Aerobic endurance athletes across the board may also benefit, such as cross-country skiers and cyclists, becoming more efficient with resistance training when it is properly implemented into an endurance training program. Other reasons why endurance athletes should include resistance training are: firstly, it helps to build muscle and burn fat. It helps to burn calories all while building and toning up muscle. It also helps maintain levels of muscle and increases metabolism, which can help to lower rates of body fat, which is great if you want to better your personal best. It also can help prevent injury. Resistance training strengthens muscles And the stronger the muscles get, the better the likelihood they can withstand or recover from injury and perform better following rehabilitation. Strength training can also improve endurance, believe it or not. You need to have the strength and stamina to see the race through from start to finish. Muscles strengthened by resistance training are also more efficient than weaker muscles, thus allowing athletes to perform using a higher percentage of their aerobic capacity for a longer period of time. It also helps with your posture. Strengthening muscles in the lower back and core can greatly improve posture, especially beneficial if you're into running. This will improve both your running economy and your form, helping you to become more efficient and powerful as you tackle longer distances. In conclusion, for endurance athletes, strength training is a valuable tool that you can use to improve weakness, better your physical capacity, and help you become a more well-rounded athlete. Now, let's move on to strength and power. Is it even necessary for these athletes to incorporate endurance training into their workouts? Well, firstly, we need to understand the physical demands of a powerlifter, not only in competition but also in training. During competitions, athletes have to perform up to 9 maximal attempts, and they also have to recover after each attempt in order to carry out their next few attempts. During training, they have to be able to train for 1 to 3 hours per session and be able to perform multiple maximal attempts in a single training session. Not only that, they also have to perform multiple high rep sets with short rest intervals in order to get hypertrophy. It has been suggested that overall power is the major variable which is affected by concurrent training. Therefore, athletes whose sport requires maximal power should limit concurrently training for strength and endurance. In addition, athletes should avoid long duration endurance exercises which are performed with high frequency. To better complement the demands of strength and power sports, it is best to prescribe lower volume, higher intensity, and high velocity interval types of endurance training. This will result in lower decrements, more beneficial in hypertrophy, in terms strength, of maintenance, and power, and improvement of power. However, having a base level of aerobic fitness can be highly beneficial for a powerlifter too. Through endurance training, powerlifters can improve recovery between and within training sessions. It also helps to improve recovery within a workout so that more work can be done. It also helps to control and or reduce body fat levels. Lifters also commented that they feel less tired when going out to do their lifts. Now, what about the general public who are seeking health benefits and just want to improve their fitness? Well, we can see that concurrent training is capable of increasing strength and aerobic capacity, which is beneficial for day-to-day life activities. Studies have shown that people who do regular endurance exercise will live longer, have a greater work capacity, and will decrease their risk of coronary artery disease, cancer, and even diabetes. Other benefits include improvement to cardiovascular and respiration efficiency, increase in cardiac output, strengthening of the limbs, ligaments, and tendons and bones, and also help decrease anxiety and stress and help you feel better overall. Along with resistance training, there are both physical and mental health benefits that can be achieved, which include improvement of muscle strength and tone to protect your joints from injury, maintenance of flexibility and balance, which can help you remain independent as you age, and also increase in bone density and strength to reduce the risk of osteoporosis and enhance performance of everyday tasks. The order in which you do your aerobic and resistance exercise in a session probably doesn't matter if you're untrained. In a study, strength, lean body mass, and aerobic fitness all improve similarly whether they did their aerobic or resistance exercise first. Don't worry about the order of endurance or resistance training. Do both and start exercising your way to health. To wrap it all up, concurrent training is a method which can help to accomplish superior adaptations in health-related and body function variables, while muscular hypertrophy, strength, and power and endurance capacities are increased as well. The effects of concurrent training largely rely on training sequence, rest periods between endurance training and resistance training, and also the training volume and intensity. If your priority is on building aerobic fitness and performing well in a running race, do your aerobic exercise first in a session, followed by resistance exercise. On the other hand, if your priority is building strength and muscle, you will want to do resistance exercise followed by aerobic exercise. Well-trained weightlifters' performance during a strength training session was diminished by doing aerobic exercise beforehand. Also remember, when high volumes of exhaustive bouts of endurance exercise are taking place, it is advisable to avoid strength training within the following 24 hours. Take a break to recover. It seems that a rest period of at least 6 to 24 hours is needed to optimize the outcomes of concurrent training. Lastly, if you're just going to the gym to stay healthy, there's no need to worry about any interference when combining training methods. Even if there is minor trade-off between the aerobic and power adaptation in your training, the benefit of gaining both aerobic and muscular fitness is well worth it. And with that, I thank you for having me here, and I wish you all the best in your respective journeys towards your health and fitness goals. Train hard and enjoy the process.